Happy October, Oregon Realtors. This is Celeste Schmord with your monthly Fair Housing Minute. Back in July and August, we focused on making your listings more accessible and received tips from members of the deaf community on how to better serve their needs. October is Learning Disabilities, Dyslexia, and ADHD Awareness Month. And this week marks the 10th anniversary of Invisible Disabilities Awareness Week. This month, we're going to focus on neurodivergence, learning challenges, and hidden disabilities. There are both overlaps and distinctions among these groups. Want to talk about them? So a 2020 study showed that 15 to 20% of the population is neurodivergent. But what does that mean? We all know that some people's brains simply work in different ways. The term neurodivergent is used to describe people who have identified that their brains function and their behaviors differ from those that are considered typical, or more specifically, neurotypical. Under the neurodivergence umbrella, you'll find people diagnosed with dyslexia, attention disorders, those on the autism spectrum, those that have experienced complex trauma, and many others. It's worth noting that the National Center for Learning Disabilities notes that 1 in 5 people in the U.S. has a verifiable learning challenge or an attention issue, but many do not choose to identify as neurodivergent or disabled. They instead subscribe to the philosophy of neurodiversity, which champions differences, not deficiencies. Now, the last term I'm going to define is hidden or invisible disabilities. Though the universal symbol for disabilities is the wheelchair painted in our parking lots, on placards near restrooms, only 10% of the disabled population are in wheelchairs. Some other common disabilities include diabetes, sleeping disorders, visual and audio impairments. So regardless of the nomenclature used, the important thing is that we pay attention to and be willing to accommodate our clients' social preferences, ways of learning, forms of communication, perceptions of the environment, and both physical and mental abilities. So, now that we know all of this, what does it mean to us realtors? First of all, know that some clients might come out and disclose their disabilities or conditions, but many will not. A best practice to help identify any preferences or needed accommodations is to ask both specific and broad learning questions, like, how can I best serve you as we work together? What are your expectations for me? Do you understand the expectations I have of you? What styles of communication work best for you? How many homes can you see in a day? Are you good with stairs? Never assume. Would you prefer that we review documents together in person, or would you like them sent electronically for your review? Are there specific things I can do to make these big changes and complicated processes less stressful or difficult? So of course, these are good questions to ask no matter who you are working with. Another issue that comes up is whether or not neurodivergence or learning disabilities create mental competency issues for us realtors. The answer is not necessarily. Even if someone does identify as neurodivergent, that doesn't mean they aren't competent to enter into a contract. Some of our greatest modern minds fall under the neurodivergent learning disabled umbrella. Steve Jobs, Jerry Seinfeld, Tim Burton, anyone? In the state of Oregon, we presume that people are competent to contract until and unless someone alleging incompetency proves otherwise. There are a handful of competency tests, but those are best left to the professionals trained to administer them. Our job is not to ask medical questions or have a client tested. It's simply to document our conversations and interactions to ensure we have sufficient proof that the person demonstrated competence and that we did not exert any undue influence over their decisions. If you ever do have concerns regarding someone's competency, make good use of your member benefits by contacting the legal hotline at legal@oregonrealtors.org. Our staff attorneys may be able to provide you with resources or directions. This service is included in your membership dues and can be used as often as you need it. Lastly, we'd love to hear what questions you ask or accommodations you offer to help meet your clients' varying needs, styles, and preferences. Tell us in the comments below. We can never add too many tools to our tool belts. Thank you for tuning in to this month's Fair Housing Minute.